Unmute.
Yeah, unmute.
I know we are partners.
Hi, everybody. This is Joelle and Nabi, and it's 11:30, so it's time to get started. We really hoped we could do this in person, but that wasn't possible, so I'm glad you're here and staying warm. Just a reminder, I want to thank everybody for registering. And the reason we ask you to register is it allows us to generate a participants list of everybody on Zoom, and then we can do door prize winners. We can take that participant list and randomly select names off that list. So it's an extra step. I hope you don't mind it too much, but that's the reason we do it. And you can see up here the door prize winners from last month and what they picked. Some might just go to TVG to pick their plants, but others, I've got 4 here that I've got to get to people once this weather clears out. But anyway, ensure you stay muted with your video turned off. That saves our bandwidth and, avoids, especially the muting, you want to avoid that extra sound in the background. The meeting is being recorded And a link will be forwarded to everybody so they can, if they couldn't attend, they can view it on YouTube as we have been doing for the last year. I use the chat feature to ask questions or make comments. When we get to the awards ceremony, Mary Kay will mention something about that for you to use that chat feature. I'll monitor the chat and answer questions and interrupt the speaker if I have to get you an answer. But that's how the chat feature will go. So thanks for being here. I'm going to introduce Abby. It's going to be our next speaker to get things rolling here. Thanks for being here.
Good morning and welcome. We welcome to the awards February meeting. We waited until the last minute to call it, hoping that the weather would allow for an in-person meeting, but here we are on Zoom one more time. So sorry we're not all together to celebrate our wonderful awards. I would like to introduce our wonderful MC, Mary Kay Estep, for the awards presentation. Please welcome Mary Kay.
Hi. Well, I would like to welcome you all to the 2021 Master Gardener Achievement Awards. It's always such an honor to be a part of this program. And last year, I was even in the hospital doing our program through a Zoom. Well, this year, thanks to the weather, we are doing another Zoom. Well, let's all get cozy and recognize some of our outstanding members. Now, we've added a feature this year. Oops, you're kind of jumping ahead of me there. We're added a feature this year that if you would like to offer congratulations or for everyone, you can hit the chat button, and Dorothy will save these chats and send them to everyone to see at their convenience. And you do an emoji or a text when you touch the chat. That way, people will know that you really care. You know, it's been said that the greatest oak was once a little nut who held its ground. Well, I feel like we continue to experience this ourselves. It hasn't been very easy achieving our goals and acquiring our volunteer and educational hours. Thanks to our leadership for working with us and providing ways for us to do that. And thank you, the little nuts, who have persevered and grown so much. Next. Wow, we are back. The MGs contributed $1,162,020, the equivalent of that in services. That's amazing. To give a total of 40,716 volunteer hours. That's just amazing. And I think that's something that we should all be very, very proud of. That's great. Okay, next. Over the last couple of years, we have recreated the class captain roles. And some of the classes have combined, while others take 2 or 3 people to care for that group. Well, the captains get information from TIG and will help their classes keep up with their certification details and membership dues for the association and just other needs of our members. These people are on call and are your connection to the administration. Thank you to all these caring, dedicated souls. So be sure you find your class and who your class captain is. Next. Wow, look at these. These 8 dedicated interns, Joanne Brennan, Helen Dulac, Diane Engel, Neil Howard, and Sue Smith were able to achieve at least 100 hours during their internship. Wonder what the future holds for them. Congratulations to you all. Well, okay, next. Oh, no. Can we go to the next slide? Ah, there. Okay, we should give a round of applause to this group. They are go-getter members who earned at least 100 hours during this past year. Aren't our gardens lucky to have them? It's been said that gardening adds years to your life and life to your years. Well, with this kind of dedication, these gardens will be around for a long time. I think you recognize a lot of names on those. Well, our bronze pin is an award for the accumulation of 250 hours. Well, that may be over 1 year or 2 or 3 years, but whenever they accumulate 250 hours. Thanks for your support in the garden. It's fun to look at the names and you see they're all from different classes. That's fun. Okay, our next award. Pin award is for an accumulation of 500 hours. Wow, what an honor. This takes a lot of dedication. Next. Well, our gold pin is for the accumulation of 1,000 hours. These people have really given of themselves. They are the ones we always see working out at the projects and events. Thank you. Well, thank you for all the time and the effort. 1,000 hours is a lot. Okay, next. Yeah. Well, John Ellis and Evelyn Womble, congratulations. The trial pin is for an accumulation of 2,500 hours. That is an accomplishment. They have worked so long and so hard. And we just thank John and Evelyn for being such good role models for all of us. I wish we could have them come up and be noticed. So let's give them a round of applause. Okay, the next one. Well, what can we say? Our lovely rose pin goes to Zandra Ferris and Steve Hauser, honoring their accumulated 5,000 hours. Whoa, that's incredible. And you both have set a very high standard for us to follow. Thank you. Man, 5,000 hours. Well, our next pin is kind of really unusual, the wheelbarrow pin. Well, it is not given very often at all. And in this year, we were fortunate enough to be able to give it to Cynthia Jones in recognition of 10,000 accumulated hours. Holy cow, that's a bunch of hours. Cynthia, congratulations. I'd have you stand up if we could. Great. All right, the next one. Well, I love the Dirty Dozen. I think that is such a fun group. The Dirty Dozen is a group that is the top 12 volunteers contributing for the whole year. And it's only given one time that they're noted as a gardening glove member. And after that, they become an honorable mention. So this group is a perfect example of a quote by Rudyard Kipling. Gardens are not made by singing, "Oh, how beautiful," while sitting in the shade. So the Dirty Dozen works hard to see that the work is done and done well. Let's see our new Dirty Dozen. Aha! So here they are: Beverly Allen, Ned Buxton, Jennifer Bowers, Mary Claire Milner, J.D. Oliver, Cookie Peden, and Sarah Sanders. And then our honorable mention that have already been named to the Dirty Dozen: Zandra Ferris, Roseanne Ferguson, Jackie James, Cynthia Jones, and Tig Thompson. I think they definitely need a round of applause. Well, our next slide honors a very special person. We are honored and proud to name C.A. Hiscock, as our Speaker of the Year. C.A. has been a Master Gardener since 1997, and she says she chose the Speakers Bureau because she really is just a lazy gardener. Well, we'll get to enjoy her skills later today in this program. Congratulations, CA. That's quite an honor. Next. Oh, our Shooting Star Award. This is a very special award that the recipients are chosen by the president and the board of directors of our association. For, they have outstanding contributions to the Master Gardener Association, as well as to Texas A&M. Being a Baylor girl, I don't know how much they contribute to Texas A&M, but I think so a bunch. The Shooting Star is awarded to a member only one time while they're in the association. So let's go ahead and see who our new Shooting Star Awards are. Okay, our recipients are Jennifer Bowers, Joanne Brennan, Margaret Gose, Carolyn Hicks, Neil Howard, Janet Lind, Rebecca Murphy, JD Oliver, and Rick Williams. So when you see that little star with the jewels on it, you'll know that they are something special. Congratulations to all of you. Oh, hello. So now it's time for our new class badges. So congratulations to the class of 2016 who get their fancy gold badges. This is a very active group and have taken many leadership roles in our membership. Thanks and congratulations for your participation for 5 years. Okay, next. Thanks to the class of 2011 for their 10 years of service. You now have the Platinum name badge. I bet you've seen a lot of these people at activities. All right, our next badge is the Platinum badge with 1 star, which is for the class of 2006. 15 years. This is a very active group, and we are so lucky to have so many members of the class of 2006 still active. Wow, there's a lot of good names on there. Well, the Platinum with 2 stars is for the class of 2001. Judy Nation, Stephanie Smith, and Thompson have given 20 years, and all of them have given lots of hours. I know. So congratulations to all of you. Okay, next. Congratulations to Sue John and Evelyn Womble. They represent the class of 1996 for 25 years. Their Platinum badge has 3 stars. It probably should have diamonds. Thank you for thank you ladies for being members and for being men and setting a good example for all of us to follow. So this brings us to the close of this part of our Achievement Award ceremony. And I hope you know we wouldn't have all this information if it weren't for Tig Thompson, who diligently keeps all of our data. So when you see him, you need to thank him for what he does. Yep. And so now we have a very special award that I'm going to send this over to Cynthia Jones for this very special honor to present. Cynthia?
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay? The word emeritus is an adjective defined as retired, but retaining an honorary title, such as Professor Emeritus. The terms emeritus and emerita are singular, the masculine and feminine forms, respectively. Texas Master Gardener Emerita is an honorary title awarded to a retired Master Gardener volunteer in acknowledgement of her distinguished service to Texas AgriLife Extension. The decision to bestow this exclusive title is serious and is made by consensus of the County Extension Horticultural Coordinator and the County Master Gardener leadership. To date, this honor has only been given to 70 Master Gardeners statewide, including 7 from Dallas County, who are Robert Hagan, Gerald Johnson, Rosa Shackley, Bunny Williams, Marion Buchanan, Carolyn Bush, and Tom Wilton. After her retirement from the Master Gardener program, the Dallas County Master Gardener Association nominated Julie McKinney Baum, our longest serving Dallas County Master Gardener and the sole remaining member of the class of 1992 for emeritus status in recognition of her almost 30 years of dedicated service to the program and to the citizens of Dallas County. With the approval of Dallas County Master Gardener Volunteer Coordinator Jeff Raska, the Texas Master Gardener Association has approved our application on her behalf. After earning her MBA with a major in finance from Georgia State University, she received her certification as a litigation paralegal. Julie was the youngest vice president of Solomon Brothers and their first female vice president. During her career, she was the business manager for Advanced Outdoor Landscapes for 3 years. From 1995 through 2001, Julie served the Dallas County Master Gardener Association in several key roles on the board of directors, including treasurer, president, and past president. During her tenure, she applied her paralegal knowledge to facilitate the incorporation of the then 250-member organization and its subsequent qualification as a nonprofit 501c3. Also during this time, Julie researched liability issues with TAMU's in-house legal counsel and recommended providing insurance for our board members. Julie has contributed approximately 2,000 hours to the Master Gardener program. Her favorite volunteer projects included educating students with special needs at the Multiple Careers Magnet Center, serving as a garden guide at the Dallas Arboretum and Botanical Gardens, as you see here in this lovely picture, and propagating plants in the Texas Discovery Garden greenhouse. Can we have the next slide, please? Of special note, Julie was also instrumental in the complete revision of the DCMGA bylaws in 2015. And if we could see the next slide that I would have loved to give in person, but here is a picture of her beautiful certificate. Please join me in congratulating Julie by placing a comment or emoji in the chat. And now we will return to our illustrious MC, Miss Mary Kay Eastet.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you. Thank you, Julie. Oh my goodness, it's so exciting to see that award. That's just so special, so special. I want to thank Tig again for all of his information that he gives us, that he puts on these slides. And also thank our members for all your hard work, your perseverance. As you can see, we'll be able to pick up your awards. And please do this on Saturday, March the 5th at the Raincatcher's Garden. I will be there from 12 to 2 with all the pins and be able to give you what you've earned. And then the next day, they'll be at R and B1 from 12 to 2 on Sunday. So these are your two opportunities to come and pick up your awards. So thank you. Oh, wow, aren't we fancy? And let's go to the next one. Happy gardening to all of you. And now I want to bring on our Jeff Raska, who is the Master Gardener Coordinator. Thank you all.
Bonnie. Yeah, girl. Abby, I think you're up next.
I guess we're a little early for Jeff. Let's go ahead and continue. At this stage, Mary Kay, thank you so much for all your wonderful words of wisdom and for a great presentation to all of our wonderful membership and all the awards that they've earned. And I mean earned. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Absolutely. And also, of course, a big thank you to Teague for keeping all of our marbles in one sock, so to speak. I would like to go ahead and introduce our Speaker of the Year recipient, who is our own C.A. Hiscock, and she will be speaking to us on Lessons from the Garden. So please welcome C.A. and I hope you enjoy your presentation.
Okay, let me get this going here. Can you see me, hear me? Is it all up?
We can hear you and see you. We don't see your PowerPoint yet.
Oh,
You share your screen, I think.
it's oh yeah. Let me see if I. Okay.
Should be on the top, I think.
I am. I don't know what to do.
I'm on an iPad. So does somebody,
Okay. Wait. Let me see if I can do this. Aha. How's that?
it's coming. There it
Okay.
is.
Okay. How's that?
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yay. Okay. Well, thank you so much for inviting me to do this. It's really such an honor to be named Speaker of the Year, and I'm overwhelmed by being part of the award ceremony. That's just super. So I'm going to be talking today about, I titled it Lessons from the Garden. These are things I've learned, and since I thought I was going to be talking to gardeners, and at what I and all of us hope is near the end of a really long slog, perhaps it might be nice for us all to remember why we get outside with our clippers and spades. So my theme today is a quote from the Japanese poet Basho. How does the firefly see the path ahead when it's his own ass that's a light? We may not go any place new in this little talk, but I want to lift up or light up some of those things that have helped me or interested me or delighted me in the last couple of years. Gardens are how we organize our immediate environment. I come from a very appropriately named Garden State, but it really does seem to be a human reaction to adjust, as we do constantly, our space for this or that reason. Mostly it seems that we do it as human beings without much thought and for all sorts of impulses. A picture of my husband in Hawaii, and we're standing next to a volcano, but people feel the need to adjust their environment. So that's what so we have to tell people not to pile rocks. It's just seems to be so common. Monks want to walk around cloisters. Kids want mysterious far off lands or places to play games. People want to grow veggies. Suburbanites want to fit in. Lots of other expectations for use and for looks. The church secretary at my church asked us after our gardening team had planted a bed with all native plants. Well, where are the flowers, she said. Apparently, it's not a garden without bedding out annuals for some, which is totally fair. One of the things that I've done last couple of months was watch a podcast on C-SPAN with a landscape architect as the lecturer. And he had a mentor who said he kept 3 goals in mind when designing a landscape. The first one was practical usefulness. The second one was spiritually enriching. And the third one was ecologically sound. This slide may not look like too much, but it's right here in Dallas on a busy street. I think it's Hillcrest. I could find it. Hillcrest, and it's at a corner. And I use this slide a lot in my lectures because it fascinates me that this is such a busy corner. And yet the house, which you can barely see over here on the left-hand side, is buried behind these very elegantly shaped berms. If you went around to the driveway, which is again on the left side, and looked around inside these berms, which rise about 4.5 feet high, you could see like a room size area, flat, where you could put like a table and chairs and maybe some potted plants, things like that. Now it wouldn't cut out a whole bunch of the noise from the street, and that would be appreciable, but it does give you a sense of privacy. It's a place where you can get out in nature, at least to some degree. Now, of course, what would really help, I think, is if it were, I mean, this is very elegant, and that those crepe myrtles and the Asian jasmine are really well adapted here. I can't really complain, except if it were me that were putting this together, I would probably want to put in some more natives like Texas mountain laurel or even mesquite. I think it would be airy and open and real pretty. And underneath, instead of the Asian jasmine, some junipers or coralberry or nolina, I think would be fabulous, and a lot of skullcap, because I just love that. So that would be where I would do for something like this, for its usefulness, but then going further into what you might call the more spiritual dimension that my landscape architect was talking about. He had expressed some surprise that his mentor talked about a spiritual dimension, but I think that we can kind of get beyond what that word might say to us as like a religious idea, and think more expansively that being in a garden is expansive for your spirit. And it takes time to observe and to get into that space in a way that really is deepening in a way that we might not ordinarily acknowledge. One of the things that I think makes Basho, my Japanese poet, funny, and I do find his poems funny, is that he knew perfectly well that the fireflies are not shining a light on where they're going. What they're doing, they're signaling with their flashes. They're trying to find a mate. They're looking for something else, not how to get there. So observation, which is what he did so well, and which so many of the traditional Japanese poets really seem to do really well, was a kind of meditation. And so observation, I think, is a meditation for gardeners. Now, again, thank you, pandemic. I have recently reread Darwin's Origin of the Species. He spent his life observing, and he expanded a sense, the scale of time, to places that I find it difficult to go. And yet in his book, he writes about the unknown laws of inheritance. Darwin, which is so surprising to me, he had no idea of genetics or DNA. It was just, that was not, he wasn't there at all. And that was only 170 years ago. It's just stunning how fast our knowledge has expanded in that time. Linnaeus, who was even earlier, came up with this system to name everything and to relate it together in what used to be called a chain of being. Naming things makes us almost like Adam and Eve. My mother had a gardening friend that she called, that was called Mrs. Sellingut. Mrs. Sellingut would always tell my mother to learn the binomial names for her plants, the botanical names. She would say to her, "Don't you know the names of your friends?" I really don't think my mother paid much attention, but I was fascinated. Taxonomy could make order out of seeming chaos. That chain of being was pushed about as far as it could go as an idea. Though I do find Schiller's line in his poem, Ode to Joy, thrilling. Even the worm feels contentment, and the angel stands before God. You can see the appeal. It charms me. It thrills me. But anymore in the garden, I don't get that sense of hierarchy. I don't feel like I'm the king of the garden. In fact, I feel like one element that's in a continual conflict with some other elements in the garden. For example, I don't know how you feel about Carolina snail seed, but I could totally do without it. So I feel like when I'm in the garden, it's more like a web, a fabric. Perhaps that is somewhat of a cliche. but even plants seem to twist away from my attempts to control them. And that is what Darwin was saying. We can name everything we want. We can fuss with the taxonomy. We can try to pin it down as hard as we can, but it's not going to work. Nature is really going to have its own way. One of the colleges that I attended had a chemistry professor give a lecture on Zoom. And he was talking about artificial photosynthesis. So it was a very interesting article. I don't know if you know anything about artificial photosynthesis. I'm not sure I do either. It was 50 minutes of an inconvenient truth and 10 minutes of, to me, incomprehensible chemical formulas. It was quite interesting. I mean, we really do need to pull carbon dioxide out of the air. I mean, we can't be carbon neutral. We have to take more out. And that's what he was attempting to do with artificial photosynthesis. And I think it really might help because the process that he was working on doesn't need any of the rare earth elements. So many of the things that we're talking about that might be helpful to address climate change need things that sound to me like they're going to rip the earth apart to save it. But this might actually be something that could help, and I hope it does. But something else that really is going to work, actual photosynthesis. Lots of carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen being, through the miracle of chlorophyll and sunlight, transferred into something that is out of our atmosphere. Another delightful thing about chlorophyll that just, I don't know why people don't like go around, wow, that is really neat, is that with all the carbon and the oxygen and the hydrogen and all those major elements that we use, we put in fertilizer on our plants and things like that. In the center of that chlorophyll molecule, magnesium, one atom of magnesium is in the center that holds the whole thing together. It's so important. Still a trace element, still so tiny. It's just, it just interests me all the time that we're just, we live in those places where the tiniest thing can have such an impact. Okay. I haven't been talking about a lot of the slides because a lot of them are just so that you can look at them. But this one, I'd like you to kind of absorb. Not the most beautiful. This is in my neighborhood. I have, I walk by it and I go, oh, you know, these people really honestly tried. They really attempted not to upset the neighbors, but clearly they did not want grass. But they didn't want to be obnoxious. I think it's a total failure, but this is what they came up with. I particularly like over here by the house outside the front door is the artificial turf that they've got pinned down. I'm not sure why they didn't want grass. Maybe it was the trees wouldn't grow, whatever. But, and what really got me was one time when I was walking by and the yard guys were out there with their gas powered mowers blowing off the leaves. So, okay, we know that St. Augustine has to be mowed. Is it carbon neutral? But on the other hand, stone has to be blowed. Is it carbon neutral? Where is it? I'm not sure. I'm not sure where we are in that. We need to do a little more investigation. However, it does prove once again, if we had any doubt, that there is no such thing as a no maintenance garden. Okay, this is the High Line in New York City. It's a great elevated railroad that they've changed into a garden, running from the new Whitney up to Hudson Yards along the Hudson River. No lawn. You may have noticed lots of natives. Just, I think this might qualify as carbon neutral. This is probably where we might be wanting to go. So again, walking around my neighborhood, and this happens to be in my daughter's yard. She lives near me. And I saw this little plant coming up. It was in the middle of December before Christmas. And I looked at it, and we had ripped out, because of the freeze last February, all the Indian hawthorns died in front of my daughter's house. And so I'd ripped them all out and replanted with small shrubs. So I'm looking at the shrubs that were just planted, and here this little thing is coming up. And I have no idea what it was at all. I should have. I'm looking at when it finally bloomed, it took quite a while. Weeks before it actually opened. So I really should have known, but it wasn't until I'm looking through bulb books and stuff like that. But I'm lying in bed trying to sleep, and I'm going, it's something about those ligules, where the comb detaches into the blade. There's that faint line, and the ligule overlaps. There's something about that really looks familiar. So for those of you, I'm sure so many of you are going, what is wrong? Why didn't she know right away what this is? Well, it's a Spiranthes species. The common name would be lady tresses, or for those of us who are a bit slower, it's a native Texas ground orchid. A really quite rare wildflower. And there it is. There it is. Who knows how long? How did it get there? Next to my daughter's house, which is like totally suburban. She is not a gardener. I take care of the property, put the mulch down and make sure it's watered and stuff like that. And here's this thing coming up. It's just something that shows me once again that given the least little chance, which we totally owe, nature can burst through. So perhaps just this flickering that comes across time and space from great gardeners and naturalists and scientists of the past, and the people that are around us, flickering with all their interests and knowledge, that they're saying, look, sharing, signaling. Well, I know that sometimes very often recently, I've felt overwhelmed. I'm certainly powerless to affect so many things. But in response, I hope that I hope that you keep flickering, keep signaling, keep reaching out. So I'm going to close today with a quote from a letter that Colette's mother wrote to her husband. Sedone was a great gardener, and she writes this. You asked me to come spend a week with you, which means that I would be near my daughter, whom I adore. All the same, I'm not going to accept your kind invitation. The reason is that my pink cactus is going to flower. So I will leave you with that thought, and back to you, Abby.
Thank you so much, CA. Now I know why you were chosen Speaker of the Year. I love the pictures, as I think everybody else did, and your wonderful words of wisdom. So, oh, how gorgeous. Look at that hummingbird.
A sunbird. This is from Africa. Random slides.
Love it. Love it. Well, thank you so very much. Jeff is finally off of his Texas A&M meeting and with us. So I'm going to introduce Jeff Raska to bring us up to speed with his information. So thank you, CA.
Thank you, Abby. First of all, I want to congratulate all of you who are getting awards today and the accomplishments that we're going to be celebrating today. In a year that hasn't been ideal. We've had some, obviously we've all gone through this together, but I can't tell you how much I appreciate the support you've given me in helping guide the groups together. And well done, all of you, well done. What a great accomplishment. What a great day when we get to give awards. So I'm so proud of you, and I just want to thank you again for all the wonderful accomplishments you all have done this year. New agent will start March the 1st. Her name is Katharina Graham, and we will see her soon. She's going to be here next week, and I'm excited to have her join, and I'm excited to have her meet you all and start leading the horticulture department for Texas A&M here in Dallas County. I guess really I'm going to make this very short, but we started at school. We had our first school session Monday in person. We've had 2 classes that were by Zoom, and went great. And but in person, it was so much fun. We had such a great time. The new students are so excited. They're going to be allowed to be out in the projects now. So we want our project coordinators to start putting together some, and they know this, to start putting together some intern days to give them some specific attentions when they come out to your garden, and we're going to get them in. But it looks like a great group. We've got a great group of mixed talent that's going to come on board with this. So let's when you see a new intern, please welcome them. Tell them how happy we are to have them in our family, and let's make them really feel welcome and get them acclimated into the Dallas County Master Gardeners. But we have a new BLT agent. Some of you have met her, Sarah Pinsky. She has started. She's already implementing some LGEG and different programs with me, and with will be with Katerina when Katerina comes on board. So she jumped in, and we've also got a new family services, family community health agent, which is Liz from. She's coming from another county. Her name is Liz. I can't remember her last name, but she's young and she's enthusiastic, and she's put some good programs together. So we're going to have a full complement, excluding director and excluding our 4-H, which they're still going to be holding interviews for to try to fill those positions. But everything's going well, and I'm excited to have somebody in the office with me and some teammates. So everything's going forward. And when Katerina comes on board, we'll bring her around the projects, or when you see her, just welcome her to the program. She will be, again, taking over the Master Gardener program eventually. It's not going to be dropped in her lap in one day. I'm gonna get a chance to mentor her for a while and acclimate her to the systems. But I'm excited. I'm excited for us, and I'm excited for the future. Things that I talked to Dr. Teresa Daniel yesterday, who's our District 1 County Commissioner, and she said things are looking better in the county itself, in Dallas County. You know, we've gone to orange, but she said that could just be temporary. She said we're going to be cautious, but things are opening up. So let's look at this year coming through with some positivity and what we've done, and look forward to what we can get accomplished for this year, 2022. So, Abby, it's going back to you.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it very much. I'm really excited about us having an agent. This is going to be life-changing for all of us. So all good news. Looking forward to it. Now I would like to introduce our project spotlight. Maggie Saucedo is the project coordinator for the Salvation Army project. Welcome, Maggie. Go ahead and unmute, kiddo.
Okay, I got it, I think. Do you want me to put my screen up there now? I'm gonna try that.
Yes, please, Maggie.
Okay, let me see if I can get this done. There we go.
It's coming.
You hear me okay?
I can, yes.
Okay. So the Salvation Army Garden Project started back in 2012. So we're actually celebrating our 10th year this year. It originated when the Salvation Army, which is actually the Carp P. Collins Center of the Salvation Army over on Harry Hines, contacted our garden incubation team and asked if the master gardeners could create a garden for the residents of one of their shelter units. The Carp P. Collins is the biggest multi-use facility of the Salvation Army here in Texas. It's open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and they provide safe shelter and meals for individuals and families experiencing homelessness. They also have support services to assist them in a successful transition to from homelessness to stability. So they have several units within the Carp P. Collins Center, and one of the units is a shelter for women and children. And the backyard looked like this picture, and they were wanting to create a garden for the women and kids that lived in that particular shelter. There's a playground back there, but that's it. There's a playground and nothing, some broken down chairs. So we decided to take that on, and in the summer, a very hot summer of 2012, we started planting a garden there, and we had several master gardeners. We had members or residents of the shelter, staff from the shelter, and everybody kind of got into the act, as you can see right here, even the little ones. And we planted all the plants that we got. Basically, most of them were a donation from Home Depot at that time. The Salvation Army doesn't have a lot of money, needless to say, because they're trying to feed and shelter hundreds of people in that.
Hey, Maggie, it's Joellen. Some people are having a hard time hearing. Can you get closer to the computer?
Well, no, but I'll try to lean. Sorry. So we got a donation from Home Depot for a bunch of plants, and basically the master gardeners worked with the people from the Salvation Army shelter to plant everything. So this was some of our original team there. This Dudley at the time was the head of the garden incubation team. So we planted a bunch of plants back there in the backyard. It's a playground, and it was very hot that summer. And of course, we didn't have irrigation that worked very well. And so one of the residents of the shelter, a woman who was homeless but living in the shelter, basically kept the garden alive the whole summer. She would water it. We got a hose and she would water it every day. So the plants, as you can see, the plants filled in, And we just started working regularly at the garden. We have a great group of volunteers. We have people that were from, I was in the class of 2011, and we have people that were in class last year. So we have a great team of people that help. And until recently, the last couple of years with the COVID problems, the residents would also, as you can see, there's one of the residents there helping us plant, but they like to sit out in the garden and enjoy all the plants, and the kids have a playground there. And basically we've given them a place to enjoy and provide some serenity and peace and beauty in their lives. So these are just some pictures of some of our garden team members. And as you can see, there's a lot of pictures here with all of us wearing masks. The last couple of years have been kind of tricky, but we started back to work after the lockdown. We started working on the garden in June of 2020, and we've been working ever since. We work every 2 weeks, usually, if the weather cooperates, and basically do garden maintenance. The Salvation Army was so happy with the garden that we built there in the shelter that they soon asked us to do another garden outside the lobby, and another big garden in the courtyard between two of the other shelter units. So this picture here is actually in the big courtyard. We have great, like I said, we have a lot of master gardener volunteers, and we even had this young man here is Sue Smith's son, who came from Britain, not really to work with us, but he was here visiting his mom, and so he came and helped us at the Salvation Army. We have a great team. Everybody's very flexible and adaptable, which you have to be when you're working at the Salvation Army, because we just never know what to expect from time to time. Sometimes we'll just find a hole in the ground that we don't know why exactly it's there. Or one time the irrigation broke down for several months during the summer. We have feral cats, and lots of unexpected things happen, but everybody's very flexible and understanding of the conditions there. So more pictures of volunteers here and here. We have been wearing masks and all that during the last couple of years because we come into contact sometimes with the clients, and they're also masked, but we're trying to be very safe while we're there. We don't want anybody to get sick on either side. So we've gotten used to that, but normally we're always outside, so it's not really a problem. Over the years, we have gotten a couple of Monarch way station grants from the Native Plant Society. So we've planted a succession of native plants, native pollinator plants, in the hopes of attracting pollinators for not only for ecological reasons, but also for the enjoyment of the residents who love to see butterflies and caterpillars and chrysalis and all kinds of stuff. So we have not, some of the plants haven't made it because of the irrigation problems or the weather or other such things, but we've got a beautiful garden now in all three areas that I mentioned. This is the original garden, and that's our Monarch way station sign. We also got a grant from Walmart recently and bought a Rubbermaid plant garden shed, and a bunch of garden tools and a gorilla cart, so we could use it in the garden. And this is a couple of our team members, Ron and Robert, putting the shed together. And the next time we went there, we found this, which I think the kids were using as a little launching pad for their stuffed animals. So like I said, we never know what we're going to find when we go there. We have had some volunteers from the community work with us before the COVID shutdown. We had a bunch of teenage boys from Athletes for Change, a boys program in South Dallas County, that used to come and help us in the garden. And hopefully we'll get them back again once it gets to be safer. This garden shelter right here was built by some Eagle Scouts that came and did it for their project. This is the big courtyard garden that I was talking about, and some of the Athletes for Change volunteers there helping us. We also had a bunch of volunteers from Kohl's to help us one day in the garden, a whole bunch of them, and they did a lot of good work. As a matter of fact, they came twice to help. These are just some of the plants and flowers that have managed to survive in our garden over the years. We get lots of butterflies, birds, bees, lots of pollinators. Most of our plants have come either from the original Home Depot donation or from the Monarch grants. And of course, those of us on the garden team often bring things from home too to share. So these are just some of the things that we have. Like I said, somehow these plants have managed to survive through all the hardships we've experienced over the last few years. This is the rose garden in front of the lobby that we planted at the request of Carpy Collins. This is some flowers along the playground area at the shelter. This is another shot of the rose garden, and there's another one. We have a bird bath in the middle because one of the guys from the warehouse brought it out one day and asked us if we wanted to use it in our garden. I think somebody had donated it to the Salvation Army. So these are just some more of the plants that we put in. Here's our, let me get back there. There's our sign that signifies our partnership, Master Gardeners and the Salvation Army. The vine growing up the fence. And here's some of the pollinators that I managed to get shots of. These are a couple butterflies that were just coming out of their chrysalis that day that we were there. Here is a little, I think it's a tree frog of some sort. I'm not quite sure what it is, but he was perched on one of the leaves one of the days we were there. And of course we get butterflies and caterpillars on our passion vines. And here's some bees. And of course, a caterpillar on the, we have native milkweed, and this caterpillar was on there one day. So, you know, we've managed to create a place for the residents to enjoy. We can't take pictures. I can't show you any pictures of the Salvation Army clients because they're there. It's a confidentiality issue. We would need all their consents in order to share their photos. But every time we're there, we have people walking by to thank us for what we've done and saying how much they enjoy it. A lot of them say it reminds them of their mother's garden. So it's pretty gratifying. And you know, we hope to continue it for another 10 years. And that's it. I think I have to turn it back over to Abby.
Okay, super. Maggie, fantastic. Thank you for all you do and the big difference that you make for all those people who are needing your support. So kudos to you and your team, okay? Okay, this brings us to Beverly and Jan are in collection mode for the seeds and plants to be given away for the students in the 2020 MG class. You can earn up to 20 volunteer hours plus travel time to collect and label seeds and plants or bulbs for the event. Take-in will be on Saturday or Sunday, March 26th or 27th at either Beverly's home, the address on Meadowdale Lane, or Jan Larson's home on Chapel Hill Road. The giveaway to the class will be on Monday, March 26th out at the class, out at R&B 1. So this has always been a favorite and exciting time for our students because they get to start their own gardens with plants that are going to be new and wonderful to them. So please consider potting up something or donating some seeds of one of your favorites. I also would like to do a couple announcements right now. Volunteer sign up for the garden tour is available via Sign Up Genius. This is our association's biannual and largest fundraiser. There are many ways to support this very important event. Nancy Black will be speaking to us in a few minutes on what's going on right now with the tour. There are going to be 6 homes and 1 school garden on the tour. And the dates, if you don't remember, are Saturday, April 30th and Sunday, March 1st. The second big to-do is on Saturday, March 5th from 9 to noon. There will be what's going to be called a big build out at R&B 1. The urban farm is going to use their grant money to build, I believe it's 30 or 40 new raised beds, fill them with soil and get them irrigated and planted. So that's the bring your tools, and we'll build some new connections with other MGs along with building the beds for growing new vegetables. So as always, the at-home botanist team is looking for new members. This is a great way to further your own education and to earn volunteer hours, all from home in the safety and warmth of your own house. So, and also please do not forget to visit our wonderful new website for the latest information and articles and places to sign up for stuff. Sandy Means Banyan and her wonderful computer team have put together an ultimate website. So visit often and look for new information each time you go there. The address is dallascountymastergardeners.org. To sign up for any of these opportunities, the links, they were in the February 17th garden path that was sent to you all. So please go back and you can use the links provided in that communique to get connected in all of these ways. So, and then, and now I would like to introduce Nancy Black from the garden tour. Nancy, are you available?
Yes, I am.
Awesome.
Hi, everyone. Just a reminder, as Abby said, that the Spring Garden Tour is Saturday, April 30th and Sunday, May 1st. Saturday, the hours are 10 to 4 p.m. and Sunday, 1 to 5 p.m. Betsy, Margaret, and I would like to say thank you, thank you, thank you to all of our amazing master gardeners who have signed up for slots. We appreciate it immensely. We still have 18 open spots and would like to encourage those of you who have not signed up to please consider doing so. Now we're going to play a little garden tour trivia.
Hey, Nancy, it's Joellen. Can I interrupt you just a second? A couple of people in the chat say it's saying they're all full. You think those last 15 slots are gone?
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, the last 15 slots, do you think those are gone? Because some people in the chat are saying they went and it says full for all the sign.
No, it is not full. Margaret, are you there? I just spoke with Margaret.
Yes, I'm here. I'm
Okay.
here.
Can you answer that question?
Sure. On the Sign Up Genius, if you look on the overview page, you can just sign up for any garden volunteer opportunities there that you want. But what you need to do is go across from where it says overview to the next tab will be like Bowles Garden, Smith Garden, Splitter Garden, and click on each of the individual tabs. And they will show you with a orange box down on the bottom right what openings are still available. And Zandra has just posted the Sign Up Genius link for us in the chat right now. If you have additional questions, I'll put my contact information in the chat as well. And you can feel free to contact me about volunteer opportunities.
Great. Thank you, Margaret. I think that's it, except for now, I would like to play a little bit of garden tour trivia.
Nancy, it's Joelle.
Yes.
I want to interrupt you again. We got another question, a good one. When and how will tickets be going on sale?
That is a good question.
It is.
Yes, it is. It's a very good question. All I can say is we hope to have the link on the website very soon. We're in the final stages of that, and we had hoped to have it up a bit sooner, but we just want it to be perfect and go off without a hitch. So we plan on sending out some type of announcement to membership when the link to the website goes live. Is there another question?
Let me check the chat real quick. Let's see. I think we're good now.
Pardon
Okay,
me?
good. I
Okay.
don't
Good.
see any new questions.
Okay, and I love questions, so that's great. I'm glad everyone's interested. Let's play a little garden tour trivia, and I thank you for hanging with us on this. The first question the answer to the first question has already been answered, so we're going to go ahead and ask it anyway. But we have 2 questions, and each person, so hopefully there will be 2 winners, will receive 3 Narcissus Ice Follies bulbs. And they're here in the little sack, and I have 2 sacks, and these will be dropped off to the winners at R&B 1 on Sunday. If that day does not work for you, please text me. My number's 214-535-4054, and we will work something out if Sunday does not work for you. Okay. I would like everyone who wants to participate to open the Zoom chat feature and select everyone to receive, so I can receive your response. Then after you have done that, please have your cursor ready so that you can start typing your answer. The first question is, how do you sign up for a slot for the garden tour? Oh my goodness. Okay, Dorothy, everyone's answered correctly. Can you tell me who the first person was that signed up? Sign Up Genius.
Yes, ma'am, I'm looking. I just want to make sure I always scroll too much. I don't know why I do that, but
Okay.
I apologize. Here we go. It looks like the first person who did it was Anita Seegers.
Amelia Cedars.
Anita Seegers.
Oh, Anita Cedars. Okay.
She was the first person to respond, Sign Up Genius.
Great. So it's our first winner. Thank you, Anita. The second question is going to be a little more difficult because it's relative to the sponsorship funding branch of the garden tour, but hopefully someone will get the right answer. So here we go. How do you become a friend of the garden tour? Does anyone want to guess? Donation. Who said donation? We'll go up with that.
Okay.
Carolyn Hicks, or who said was the first
The first person that said donation is Nicole Jones.
All right, Nicole, thank you for answering that question. It's actually $100 or more, but we will accept any donation for underwriting for the garden tour. So that is a correct answer. And I thank both Amelia and Nicole for participating. Thank you so much. I will leave your cute bags for you at R&D 1 on Sunday at noon. And I am going to turn the meeting over to Abby.
Okay, thank you so much for that. We're all looking forward to a wonderful garden tour coming up in April and May.
Hey, Abby, let me interrupt real quick. Somebody says
Sure.
maybe Margaret didn't share the right email address. So if Margaret can check the chat and see if she got her email
Yes,
address.
I really did. It's not the regular bird, BIRD. My actual email address is lovebrid, BRID at AOL.com. It's kind of tricky, but it has a story behind it.
And it's well listening to. It's worth listening to. But anyway, okay, well, thank you all for attending this meeting today. I hope you enjoyed it. And kudos to everybody who earned an award and or a badge of honor, definitely. Our next monthly meeting is hopefully going to be in person at Walnut Hill Church, if COVID and weather allow it. But in any event, people can also participate live on Zoom. It will be a hybrid meeting. Our guest speaker will be Susan Tuttle, who will speak about uncommon wildflowers in the LBJ National Grasslands. This is just in time for you to visit this protected area in Wise County, less than an hour's drive from Fort Worth at its best. So everything will be in bloom then. Susan is a plant ecologist who retired in July of 2016 after 23-year career at the Fort Worth Nature Center and Refuge. Please plan on attending our March meeting. So thank you to everybody, Joellen, Dorothy, for all your help, Mary Kay, for your wonderful MC presentation. So thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your day.